Hello everybody, it's Dennis Marks again, and today I'm in front of the Little Red Schoolhouse with Laurie Rowen. Laurie, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Great. So Laurie is on the committee, Friends of Little Red Schoolhouse, and I think it's a really interesting story I wanted to share with you, make sure you're all aware of her cause. So Laurie, tell us a little bit about the Little Red Schoolhouse.
Okay. The Little Red Schoolhouse was built in 1845, and it had its first home down Main Street about a quarter of a mile, and it was moved by oxen to this location. A woman bought it, Mrs. Morse,
Yeah.
bought this building and donated it to the Boxford public schools for the purpose of educating children for education and recreation.
Mrs. Moore. So there's a field on the other side of town called Morse Field. Is that associated with them?
Yes.
Is it?
That is. And her grandson, Charlie Haynes, and his sister and brother all lived there and helped promote this school for the children of Boxford.
Wow, that's a great story. And then what year was this built?
It was built in 1845, and it was moved in 1931.
And then what years did it operate after 1931?
It continued to be useful for the children from kindergarten to 8th grade up until 1967.
Wow, that's not that long ago.
Not that long
No,
ago.
not that long ago,
No,
right?
Yeah.
So you were telling me an interesting story. This is the front door, but there was actually two front doors?
Yes. Yep. The girls went in one side and the boys went in the other side.
Even though they were in the same class.
Same class, kindergarten to 8th grade. One teacher.
So certainly there's a lot of stories. Now I think you said you were in touch with other students here?
Yes. Since I'm a teacher, I'm a retired teacher from Cole School. I work a lot with the teachers in the different grades up at Spofford. The 3rd grade at Spofford Public School studies the history of Boxford. So they wrote up a questionnaire and they're interviewing people that went to this school. They've already interviewed, I think, 4 people.
Oh, that's
And
great.
they're fun stories.
Oh, I'm
Fun
sure.
stories. Like, what did you do if you needed a nurse? No nurses.
Right,
the
right.
teacher had a first aid kit, you know.
Yeah, and if a teacher had all these grades, K through 8, then they had to kind of teach everybody at once, right?
That's right. And the nice thing is the 8th graders, the older children, would help the younger children.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
younger children
yeah.
learned so much from the older children.
Sure.
And they only had reading, writing,
Sure.
arithmetic, handwriting, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
They didn't have the curriculum that they have now.
Sure.
in
Yep.
2021.
So tell me, you've been with this committee for a while. What would you like to see happen? What's your vision?
All right, my vision, my dream is to restore this school back to 1880s, 1890s, the early 1900s, in the same way that we can have students come on field trips and learn what it was like back then.
Wow. Now you shared with me some plans of what the school would look like. Is any of that on a website that people might see?
Yes, we have, it's called Friends of the Little Red Schoolhouse. On Facebook, and find that. You'll see all these old pictures and you'll see what it's going to look like. We have an architect that has designed the outside. And we had to add a handicap accessible because we have to keep up with the days. And it's going to be beautiful. And then I've been collecting antique desks. So we're
Wow.
going to set it up with probably like 15 or 20 desks. And they start with the little desks and they get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So it's not going to look like your typical schoolhouse that all the desks were the same. It's going to be unique.
So speaking of you mentioned to me this is one of the very few single-room schoolhouses.
In Boxford.
Oh, just in Bar. Well, you
Just-
mentioned Topsfield and Middleton as well.
Right. They don't have any left. They don't have any schoolhouses left in Boxford, in Middleton and Topsfield. And there were 6 schoolhouses in Boxford, And this is
Oh, there were 6 of these.
6 of
I
these
see.
all around town
Because it was a big village.
they didn't have a school bus. So
Right.
either
You're better off.
either children walked to school or they had buggies with
I
horses
see.
back then.
So like this is like motif number 1.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right.
Right. We
So
want to keep that.
we want to keep it because if we lose this one, then the children in Boxford will never have that experience of learning what it was like in Boxford to learn in a one-room schoolhouse.
So then, how do people help you? How can we keep this going? Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, well, if you go on the Friends of the Little Red Schoolhouse page, it gives you some information. We also have these pamphlets. I gave them out to all the parents at the park program the other day, so they all know about it.
Mhm.
And it gives you all the history. It shows a picture of the way the schoolhouse looked
Yeah.
back in 1945, and it was white back then.
Not the Little Red Schoolhouse.
And somewhere, somebody painted it red. But I think we're going to keep it the Little Red Schoolhouse because people from the last 100 years, 50 years, they know it as the Little Red Schoolhouse.
You know what? It's a marketing thing. I'm sure a realtor got in charge with that.
I
changed
bet
the
you're
name.
right,
Yeah,
Dennis.
absolutely.
I bet you're right,
Yep,
yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, and if you go on the Boxford Residence, I'm going to be posting a lot of fundraisers.
That's great.
So
That's
stay
great.
tuned at a brewery, at Cafe Serena.
Oh, nice.
The school is going to have a spirit day in the fall. All the children, there's 700 children at Cole and Spofford. Each child is going to bring $1 to school that day. They're going to get to wear pajamas and they're going to see all these YouTubes about one-room schoolhouses. I'm going to bring games in, jacks, pickup sticks, and the hoops that you chase with the stick.
Yeah.
All the old games. So that's going to happen for both schools. If every child, every family gave $1, that would be $700, and that could buy us a new door for the
Sure.
schoolhouse.
Sure.
And we're writing grants, and we would love if anybody wanted to join our committee.
Did you hear that, everybody?
Anybody,
We're right here. How do they get in touch with you, Laurie?
On the Facebook page,
Yeah.
we do it.
As you can see, Laurie got my attention and quite a sincere person and really her whole committee. You were working with other people in the committee.
Yes, Ginny Havey.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Ginny, we certainly know.
Ginny
Yeah.
and Nancy Merrill
Nancy, of
have
course.
been part of this project to restore this building for 31 years.
Wow.
They got it on the National Registry. They had a new roof put on. They've been trying their very, very best to restore it. But there's all these regulations in town that have taken an awful long time. And when I retired in 2018 from Cole School, I said, that's my project.
Look
I'm
out.
going to do it. Watch
Yes,
out. And
yes.
in 3 years, we got all new windows, which you'll have to take a
Yeah,
picture of,
yeah, we will.
thanks to people from Boxford's donations. So any donation, $5, $10, everything matters.
Now, you shared a story with me recently. Your neighborhood had helped you with the fundraiser. Is that true?
Yes. The whole neighborhood on my street, Hillside and
Yeah.
Stagecoach.
Yeah.
We put up signs. Everybody came to an area, and we sold things. And every neighbor donated the money from
Of
what
course.
they sold
Of
to the
course.
Little Red Schoolhouse. Are you ready for the amount of money we made?
Let's hear it.
$1,000.
Ha! That's awesome.
$1,000.
Good job.
Who has ever made that
Yeah.
much in a year?
You know what?
And guess what? Andrews Farm is doing the same thing. They're going to have a yard sale for their neighborhood, and people are going to donate.
Of course.
So that's a
Yep.
great way. Have a yard sale in your
Yeah,
neighborhood.
yeah. No, that's a great story, and that really exemplifies this community. People want to get involved, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to share Laurie's story. I think it's a great story, and I was hoping I could share this with everybody and put you in contact with Laurie and hopefully see this through. I'm sure we will, and I want to thank everybody for giving us a few minutes of their time. Laurie, before we end, tell me one of your favorite stories about this school.
Okay. So, back in 1845, they didn't have the lunch boxes that all the children have at school now.
They didn't have like Batman and Superman
No, they
lunchboxes.
didn't.
Yeah,
And
right.
I left the lunchbox in there. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's a metal lunchbox. All the kids just brought any kind of a metal lunchbox. And inside, they would bring a potato, not cooked. They
Just a regular
would,
potato.
a regular potato. And of course, we had a wood stove in there
Yeah.
because that's how they heated it.
Right.
And the teacher would say, anyone have a potato for lunch? And they would carve their initials on the potato, put it on the wood stove, and by lunch they'd have a nice hot, soft potato. And maybe they would have an apple with it,
Yeah.
maybe cornbread, maybe a piece of,
You're making me hungry.
oh goodness.
Yeah, that's
but
good.
anyway, it's just exciting. And right inside this door will be these coat hooks with old coat hooks. And they would put their lunchbox in their coat there and then go right inside. And maybe next time we'll show you inside.
We you know what? We're definitely going to be back for sure. This has been wonderful. You're wonderful, Laurie. This was such a great way to take us to the story and bring it to light in the community. And I hope everybody out there will reach out to Laurie and help a great cause.
Great.
Thank you so much, Laurie.
Thank you, Dennis,
You're
for
welcome.
taking the time.
You're
and I
welcome.
appreciate everybody watching. And I just love this building, and I know all of you will love it, especially if you take part in helping us. Maybe 1 to 2 years.
We'll do it.
We'll have the third graders coming for field trips, and the preschoolers here, and all the grades K to 2 will be able to walk over, do story times, learn.
Yep.
So many things. And
Yep.
I'm going to be the teacher in here. Dennis, this is
Now we
great.
know the motivation. I love it. Thank you again, Laurie.
You're welcome.